Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of AIME Sales Rally. I'm Christine Beckwith, the president of 2020 Vision for Success Coaching, and I am so proud to be your host this week and on a particularly great topic that, of course, has everything to do with the month of March, and that is Women's History Month. And yesterday was Women's International Day. And so we're talking today to all of you about getting women in the industry and formidable ways of doing that and establishing the importance of doing that and so on and so forth. So I don't mind starting with a story and kind of unpacking things from there. Obviously I've been in the industry for a long time. This year marks my 35th year in the mortgage industry. I always tell a joke that I started when I was like 5 years old, but the truth is I started as an understudy of a female originator when I was 18 years old, going to college for sports medicine and nutrition. And I stayed working with her in a credit union in Massachusetts. And I got the bug as an LOA. Back then, we weren't called LOA, we were called junior loan officers, and there was no licensure requirement either. And I would do that. And then eventually, when I graduated, I decided, yeah, I want to be an originator. The rest is history. I would spend 30 something years in the mortgage industry. I ended up becoming a branch manager, an originating branch manager. I was a top producing originator. I carried origination licenses forward as a branch and originating manager for many, many years. I would later become a district, regional, and national VP of sales for H&R Block Mortgage, was with them for a very long time, over 10 years. And then that company fell to the mortgage implosion. I shouldn't say it fell. We carefully closed that company. And then I would team up with Joe Pinabianco and the group from Annie Mac, previously known as Village Home Mortgage, and spend my next 12 years on the same type of trajectory and national sales and real estate development. So that's me. And so here's some of the underlying facts in that, in giving you my history. When I became an executive with H&R Block, I was a 1% female executive. I don't think I knew that at the time until I would get interviewed, and then they told me this. So certainly there was opportunity that I could see for more women. And certainly I could look around the room and notice that I was one of the few women sitting at the table, if not the only woman in many instances. I've shared some of my stats, and the stats are staggering, like being one female LO of 200 LOs, one female branch manager of 200 plus branch managers. And then when I moved past branch manager, I was really on my own in my gender category. I will tell you, for all of you listening, men and women alike, that I believe that, we're living in a time, and certainly during my career, where opportunity has been bestowed on people that deliver great results. I was a good competitor and I had good sales results. So I was given opportunities because I had proven myself. Today, as a consultant with one of the largest women's coaching divisions in America, Women with Vision, we are working every single day on our businesses in a real way. We leave the advocacy really to the trade organizations. We are such a huge fan of the Women's Mortgage Network for the broker community and other trade organizations, obviously. What we're doing here is actually consulting and coaching females for business results. So when you ask the question of how are we going to get more women into this business, I think it's by showing success. I think it's by exploiting that this is a good industry to be in with ample opportunity. I think it's by creating more opportunity through the ability, obviously, of delivering great results. So how I look back and I get interviewed a lot about, how did I do this? Or how did I break this glass ceiling? And I'm going to tell you, kind of by accident, meaning not gender motivated. I wasn't questing to get to the highest level of H&R Block Mortgage's sales national platform as a woman in my mind. I was getting there as a salesperson competing against other human beings and getting to the top of those ranks. Those results opened doors for me. As a result, I was given more opportunities. And as a result, I proved through breaking glass ceilings that women could run large organizations and they could be the branch manager, the district, regional, and national, and run profitable companies and so on and so forth. So today, if you're listening to me and you are a woman that is sitting out there and you're one of the wonderful, incredible tons of female brokers that are in our business, and part of the Associated Independent Mortgage Expert Trade Organization, I'm going to tell you, this trade organization has it going on for females in our business. And so I was asked to speak on this specific topic today. And so I want to really put wind in the sails of what you have available to you already. Number one, get involved with Women's Mortgage Network, get involved with AIME, because they are advocating on women's behalf. They are not only helping teach, how to run your businesses and supplying lots of resources and also vendor opportunities for you to partner with people that can bring you great enhancers and support. I say enhancers and support because I wrote a book called Wise I See Your Way to Success. I wrote a famous thing called the Blueprint for Success. It has 9 key points. One of them is enhancers and support. What are the things that you have tied into your race car, your business, that is going to make you accelerate, go faster, compete, and win business in your marketplace? And I would argue that having great resources is number one. And you're lucky with AIME to have the ability to have those things. So now I'm going to go in a little bit of a different direction. And I'm going to share with you, some top tactics that I believe help makes all people successful, but definitely will help open doors for women that are trying to get more positions. And that is number one, you have to run a business formidably. And so we kind of all end up in the mortgage industry by accident. We always say there's somebody here that we have to blame for getting us in the business. That's true for men and women alike. But when you get here, now what? What do you do? Well, I'm going to tell you the very first thing that you need to do is write yourself a really formidable business plan. Now, a lot of organizations really go through the motions of having everybody write a business plan, but they don't teach the components of business planning that make it effective. I've talked before, I think on a previous sales rally, about the fact that if you don't understand what drives a business plan to success, it's kind of like the New Year's resolution that you might put in place and not unfortunately know that in March and April, you're starting to fail on your plan because you're not committed, you're not forming the new habits that the plan requires, you're not letting go of the things that deter it. And so my blueprint for success, which helps you get that formidable base, is really made up of 9 key points. And those points can be read in my book, Wise Eyes. And I share that with you because all of the women that are part of Women with Vision go through the blueprinting format. We have very successful females running professional businesses here across America. We have some of the biggest leaders. We have the most chief positions, females here. And we have business development, recruiters, sales managers, ops managers, underwriters, you name it, broker owners. And they are all operating on this blueprint that they do every single year. And then the next 8 things. And then beyond, they're educating in time management, they're educating in economics, they're educating in marketing in many different ways, not only digital marketing, but formidable base marketing, accounting for marketing, and niching and beyond. And so it's, really mindset stuff, emotional intelligence, things that are so key, negotiating tactics, psychology of selling. I mean, the list is very, very long. So as you sit here listening to me kind of share all this stuff, I would ask you, what are you doing to make sure that you're hitting your goals? Do you know what your goals are? Do you know what your daily activities need to be, your weekly activities? And are you questing towards those goals that you've laid out? The next thing that I would tell you is I align myself with other women that had like goals to mine. That old cliche saying of, you are the product of the 5 people closest to you. That is true. I hang with the goats in my industry. And both female and male, like I will tell you, like my circle is big. I don't mind sharing. And it is, really stellar people that I want to learn from. I'm a perpetual student. And so what I would tell you is, what tables are you seated at right now? And I would say, I'm not afraid to say out loud, as well, to everybody that's listening. There is addition by subtraction that we do in our businesses. A lot of times we are, sometimes having deterrents to things that we're doing. We have friction at work with sometimes employees, as well as with processes and projects and structure. Look at what that is, because I'm one of those people that removes friction. I'm not saying I have an intolerance to it. I think great companies that are growing have friction more so than companies that are stagnant. And so I'm very aware that friction may be occurring because we're accelerating my business or vehicle. And then I look for that. And of course, we don't want something to break, including human relationships and things like that. So removing the friction. So I'm asking you right now, where do you have friction in your life? Also, being surrounded by the people that are doing well, we want to look directly at the people that are successful. A lot of times our human makeup will make us not look at the top producers or poo-poo what they're doing, because we have this, embedded human jealousy factor that kind of says, well, whatever, they're doing that because they're, the teacher's pet, or they have more money, or they've been around longer, or whatever it might be. And I'm going to just, be my true blue hardcore coach that I have become for the Associated Independent Mortgage Experts, and say, BS. Don't tell yourself those lies. Don't tell yourself those lies. You are capable of anything that you set out to do. So in ending this sales rally, I kind of want to end on a story like I started it. And I want to tell you that the reason education means so much to me, and that it is always in my top 3 answers of what I tell everybody to do: get educated, get motivated, get in the room with people around you that are formidable, be part of a cause like AIME that's going to help you advance. I want you to understand, for me, education came really hard. At the age of 14, I don't mind sharing that my parents did not want me to go into college prep because they knew they didn't have the funds to send me to college. And so at a very young age, I had to fight for my own advocacy with some mentors from school to convince my mom and dad that I deserved to go into college prep, even if it was lofty that I would go to college. And so I had to work to save some money. I went into sports to get my letters back then, my points in that extracurriculum, and also carry a very high GPA. And I was able to get enough scholarship to go to college, an actual incredible amount to go to school. But that meant going to work. Like, my high school years were work for me. And so, I think about third world countries, and sometimes we're watching TVs on the weekends, and we'll catch a program about another country. If you're a geek like me, and you end up watching these programs, and what ends up happening is you see that clothing, housing, and education, food even, becomes the most important things for impoverished countries. And here in America, education is something that's taken for granted a lot of times because we get it freely. I say freely, it comes easy to us to get it. And so what I would tell you, as somebody that worked hard for education, the reason I'm committed today to education and self-education is because I live that. I have a consultant for myself. I have a coach for myself. I put in the time each and every week. And so I will end on this story and tell you, when you're driven by a purpose, when you have meaning behind the thing that you do. And I would say to all women that are questing to have great businesses and try to get a foothold in this industry, that you have a purpose, and that fuel will drive you to far places. And I would say to everybody listening, as part of the Associated Independent Mortgage Experts, I love your story. Your story is incredible. It is powerful. I'm glad to be a part of it. Thank you to all of you who have honored me by hiring our firm to help you have formidable businesses and just drive from a purposeful place. Put in the time and put in the energy towards your businesses and reach beyond the obstacles and hurdles that you may think are in front of you, because I promise you, anything can be done. Thank you so much for having me.